You've been through this before. As a player, do you get to the point where you go, okay, I practiced enough. I want to play. Let's get the games going.
In a way, but you build confidence throughout the week for the game and practice. So you just kind of gotta take practice just as serious, and everybody's ready to play clearly, but practice is still important. It doesn't lose importance.
Tommy, with JT, you feel like you've had enough time, and not just you, but all the wide receivers to develop with him.
Yeah, I mean, he came here in May, so a lot of us cut our May break short to come back and throw with him and get on the same page. And he's been great in that aspect and just coaching us up, timing, stuff like that. So we feel pretty good about it.
What's he do well? They talk about his deep ball. Do you notice that? What are some of the things that you feel he does well?
Yeah, he throws probably the most catchable deep ball that I've ever seen, and especially firsthand that I've ever been thrown. And I think we just know like the chemistry part of where the ball is going to be, and that's a big difference.
When you say catchable deep ball, what do you mean? You mean the way the tip comes down? So it's like more like a parachute? Then how do you explain that?
That kind of depends on how the DB's playing, and I mean, just what he sees. But we just he puts it in a place really where you have a place or a chance to make a play on it every time.
You've played in some big games being here. Is this one different? Is the preparation different for you, or are you just trying to go out there same mindset as any other game?
Basically the same mindset of every other game. It's the rivalry is different in that aspect. We haven't really played in a rivalry game here, but the preparation doesn't change. It's not like our effort's going to change, or we're going to put in more effort to win the game. It's always the same, 100% every time. So,
can you recall a story that maybe your grandfather or your uncle told you about Pitt? Is there one story that sticks out to you?
With my grandfather, I just know. I mean, he's talked about it before. How he went over. He had a really good game against Pitt. I don't know exactly what year it was, but I just watched the DVD of it. Actually, my grandmother sent it up to me, so I watched it. Put in my PS5, surprised it worked, and I seen him firsthand on there. Yeah, he went off, so that was cool to see. They don't really talk about it that much though, but that was cool to see myself.
Did you know how good he was? I mean, he had 300 some yards in that game. Did
Still
you know
got
how?
the all-purpose record.
Yeah, exactly.
School record.
Did you know how good he was when you were a kid? Did it take till you get here, maybe sort of see a few highlights, record book type things?
Yeah, it definitely took me time. Like when I got here, I kind of started to understand. Honestly, this last year I started to understand really. But like growing up, that's just your grandfather. Like everybody's grandparents that's your grandpa, that's your grandma, or something like that. So to finally get here though and kind of understand like what he did and how good he was, because he doesn't really talk about it. He's a humble guy sometimes. He'll try to tell me that I could never run him over or something like that, but he's a humble guy for the most part, so he doesn't really talk about himself that much. So I had to do a lot of like the digging myself until I got here.
Circle this game a couple years ago. When did you first say, hey, I'm going to get a chance to play Pitt, a rivalry game? Did you know about it a couple years ago, or did you just sort of pay attention when the schedule came out last fall?
No, I knew about it. I think I want to say, honestly, maybe like 2018, like my freshman year, I might have known about it. But it was 5 years away at that time. So, like when you're a young kid, you think that you're coming to college and you're just going to be here for 3 years. So I didn't really know, honestly, in my head at that time that I was really going to get the chance to play them. But now it's my 5th year, and they just happen to be game one. So it's a really like a cool experience. I'm glad I get to be a part of it.
When you study them, what jumps out at you? I know they're an aggressive defense. They like to blitz a lot. They're going to get corners up on you. What do you see from them?
I just see a pretty physical defense. They like to fly around a lot. They cause a lot of turnovers by doing that, playing so hard. Up front, like their front seven, they're sending them just about every time. So for a receiver, this is kind of what you want, because for the most part, it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. And everybody has to win their one-on-ones to, have a good chance of success for this game.
You excited about the atmosphere? Have you thought about what that's going to be like?
Yeah, I've never been in that stadium, and I grew up like a Steelers fan, so to finally get in that stadium, but to be playing in it, it's going to be fun. I always use them on Madden and stuff, so to look at like the stadium and how big it is, like the spiral kind of staircase, so it's going to be something to see. My first time in there.
We all good for Bryce? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.